can see from our placards the various needs of older persons. And I'm sure that you know that in addition to those needs, there are other needs of older persons like digital inclusion. What I notice is that most older persons are not very computer literate. Many of us are analog, so we do not take advantage of the digital space. For example, it was only recently my secretary taught me, I'm 74 years old, my secretary taught me how to speak into my WhatsApp rather than typing every time. That is knowledge. And a lot of us at this age, we are used to having secretaries who do our work. Therefore, that limits our activities. But the needs also for welfare, for somebody to eat, you have to eat before you start talking about the use of computer. You have to eat before you start making phone calls. We know they are very, very important. But at this time, we are also adding, because what the UN does is that every year it adds on a topic. Like last year, it was more on COVID, and this year it is on the digital space. So the issues of the welfare, well-being, and dignity of older persons is very, very important to us, and that is what we've been trying to work with the government. That is why in our advocacy, we prevailed in constructing on government to establish the Nigerian National Senior Citizen Center, and a lot of money will come to them very soon to start programs that will alleviate the sufferings, including the ones we are working with various MDAs.
In time past, in the previous years, we have done things like leave no one behind, and take care of the older persons. So the aspect of their welfare is or has always been on the front burner. But we cannot neglect the fact that technology is taking us to another place in history, and we cannot leave the older persons behind. The truth is, the coalition on its own is making so many moves when it concerns provision of food, of healthcare, of making them comfortable generally. But we are also concerned that they also need to focus. They need to communicate, because in the absence of your digital phone or your laptop and all of that, you're almost lost. One thing that we know about the older persons is that they like to have company. They like to have people around them. Now, if you isolate them and keep them away without phones, or they have those phones, the well-to-do children in the town buy a nice phone, very digital phone, and give it to mama and papa, and they don't know how to use it. If we leave them behind that way, we'll also be killing them faster, because there is now isolation, there is now lack of communication. That is why I believe the United Nations this year says we should put the digital technology and communication also in front.
Make all these facilities available to older persons wherever they are, both in the cities and villages. That's our aim and objective. And hopefully, at the rate we are going, we will cover everybody, God willing. We have a lot of sensitization activities like this one. Again, the president said in his speech on Friday, we were at Mabushi at the Chief's Palace. If you see the rousing welcome we were given by the aged people, not the people, strong people in the locality, elderly people. They are rejoicing, dancing, and singing with us all over. That's the kind of activities we are pushing every day, every month. We'll reach the grassroots, God willing.
The plight of the older persons is enormous. It starts from inequality in distribution of whatever is being distributed nationwide. It also gets to the grassroots. They don't have availability to health. Right now, as far as we know, we have very few geriatric centers in Nigeria. Their health is not yet priority in the country.
And we are hoping that with all this advocacy, we will be able to focus on the health, because I think that is one of their major problems. And when you talk about communication, I stand with the United Nations in talking about the equality in distribution of the digital space. You find out that today, a lot of the older person's children are not living in the villages. They live very far, and they depend on these phones and gadgets to be able to reach their older persons. So it is important that government considers subsidizing phones and those things. And the iPads, for instance, my mother, who is 84, uses iPad because she can't see the fonts on the phone. So we need to make it possible for government to reach the older persons, teach them these things, so that they will be able to communicate with their children wherever they are.